welcome to EliseTrophy.tv, a brand new online channel bringing you all the latest action from the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy and the action from this very weekend. Race 1 is coming up, and that features the 24 fastest cars who have qualified over 2 heats this weekend. Luigi, if we could just grab you for a second, are you excited about your first season with the Elise Trophy?
Yes, very much so, yeah. It looks like a great series. So the guys are all really social as well, and yeah, I am very much so.
So what actually attracted you to join the Elise Trophy series?
Well, I love the Elises, obviously. I looked into it, and it just looks like a really well-run series. The guys all look good fun to drive and socialise with, so that's part of it, but I just wanted very much to do the Elises, so.
Eric, your first season with the Elise Trophy, are you excited?
Yeah, it seems very good so far. Yeah, cars are great and the racing's very clean. Yeah, good first race. Very happy.
What made you choose this series?
Really because my erstwhile teammate Rob Austin was in the series. We normally do things together, make a mess of things together, so we thought we'd try the Elise Trophy. So
excellent stuff, and you're clearly enjoying yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to the next one.
Sean, your first season with the Elise Trophy, how are you feeling?
Great, first race, never raced the Elise before, and I'm really excited. It's hard work. It's the field is a lot more competitive than I thought it was. There's some good drivers out there.
And it's close racing as well.
Oh, it's very close. I've only raced a Caterham, which I come from close racing, and that's why I chose the Elise, because it's going to be the same sort of thing.
John, what brings you back for another season?
Well, the social side is great fun. I've got a lot of good friends in the series. I'm also learning some more racecraft and hoping to be more competitive this year.
Stephen, track clubs seem to have quite a heavy involvement in the Elise Trophy now.
Yeah, we got involved probably 2 years ago. We needed somewhere for our track day customers to go racing. We did a lot of Lotus track day car hire. Once those guys had done a lot of track days, then they wanted to go racing. The Elise Trophy seemed a sensible place to take them.
And this year you're running Marcus Jewell?
Yeah, we've got Marcus this year in a new Elise R. We've got two new drivers actually, 2 drivers in an Elise R this year. We wanted to race something that was from the sort of current Lotus range, something that a bit more reliability than the K-Series cars, and the Elise R seemed a sensible thing to go, so we've got Marcus in one of those.
Great to see support from sponsors like Track Club in the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, and their man Marcus Jewell starts from the inside of row 2. However, he is going to have to fight his way past a very competitive front row with ex-Formula 1 racer Martin Donnelly on pole position, alongside him Mark Speller. This is race 1 featuring the quicker drivers from the weekend, but watch Steve Williams coming through from 13th position. BJ Chong also going well, he starts 12th. Simon Phillips down in 18th. Had some problems earlier on, as did Steve Quick, all the way back in 28th position. Towards the back of the grid, and all on his own is Neil Stottot. So a 31 car field for this 20-minute race around the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Donnelly on pole position. He is in the black car with the green logo. Speller alongside him, the black machine with the red wheel rims. And then Marcus Jewell, the all-orange car, in third on the grid. Alongside him, Paul Harding, the silver car with paint blobs. It's the rear of the field coming into position. It's a long wait at the front for the pole sister Donnelly. Not that he is any stranger to being competitive at Brands Hatch. So we have a Formula 1 light style system as all eyes turn to the gantry. The first light will go on when the ambulance gets in place, which it does now. 1 light goes on, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are about to go racing. Waiting for the golf. Away we go. Great start from Martin Donnelly. He sprints into early lead. Paul Harding gets away as well from the outside of row 2, and he may go around outside the mark. Speller indeed into Paddock Hill Bend. No, Speller holding on the inside. The rest of the field streaming through. Very congested, but looking clean for the moment as Donnelly streaking into an early lead. Druids, lap 1. Donnelly hugging tight to the curbs. Speller trying to go with him. He's got Harding and Jewell, and then 27 others all hot on his heels. Into Graham Hill Bend, and Donnelly already building a 5-car length or so advantage. And back in his single seat today, Donnelly was something of a Brands Hatch specialist, winning the FIA Formula 3000 Championship rounds here way back in 1988. Greg Noble, however, a busy weekend for him. Eventually qualifying saw him being black flagged, and he, as a result, is in the midst of the midfield action. Coming through to complete lap 1, and Mark Speller in a treacherous heat earlier on today came through to take a dominant victory, but Donnelly is drawing away from him as they stream across the line. Further back, Simon Deacon, a little bit lower down than we perhaps would expect to see him, although he is making a move, possibly on short national distance, into Paddock Hill Bend. BJ Chong also gaining position. Simon Phillips as well gaining ground. So Donnelly leading Speller, and Speller for the moment may have just broken away from Paul Harding and Marcus Jewell. I think we're expecting to see Marcus showing perhaps a little bit more strongly in the early stages, but he's closing up on to the tail of Paul Harding. Also keeping open for 91, Luigi Valentine Mazza in just his second ever car race. The first coming yesterday in the heat. Harding is in third position. Bad qualifying Harding, but he has driven well all weekend, but he's now got Jewell in his tail, and Jewell ever aggressive in the bright orange number 70 car. We watch Harding as they streak along the Bramham Straight, hugging the pit wall tight. In car with Marcus Jewell, is in the stream of Paul Harding as they go up the road towards Paddock Hill Bend. Braking late and Harding, he looks to the inside. Is he going to go through? Not quite. Paul Harding, there wasn't a lot of room there, but Harding clings on around the outside. And so Marcus Jewell, he's going to have to find another way around Paul Harding. Harding hugging the inside line at Druids, and Jewell realising there's no room all the way around the outside there, so he's just, for the moment, got to settle in behind Harding, allowing at the front of the field Donnelly and Speller to pull away. So Harding in third position, Jewell in fourth. Accelerate along the Cooper Straight and on towards Surtees, where Donnelly does not lift at all. The angle capturing just the speed of these drivers as they go through Surtees on into McLaren again. Jewell looking to the inside, but I think it's going to have to be a gem of a move. He's going to make his way past Paul Harding, back through Clark Curve, the road falling away, then rising up onto the cambered and curving Bramham Straight. There is Luigi Valentine Mazza in fifth position, and then just behind him we've got another gaggle of cars. Looking around the outside is Michael Edwards in the silver 33 machine. He is trying to pick his way past Gary Broad, and then Broad in turn just behind Eric Bailey, who we were hearing from a little bit earlier on. So the battle for third position makes its way through Druids. The battle for sixth position makes its way through Druids. So Eric Bailey with Gary Broad in his tail. This weekend, Gary Broad, he's down in the programme, being backed by the French gendarmerie. That's because Gary Broad's got undoubted speed. Unfortunately, chose to demonstrate it on the French motorways a few months ago. Now on the Brands Hatch circuit, he's certainly proving that unofficial practice well as he goes to the inside of Bailey. No way through quite, is there? No, Eric Bailey closing the door just in time. Now, has that cost Gary Broad anything in terms of speed on to the Bramham Straight? Because he's got Michael Edwards right in his tail. They accelerate past the pit boards, and Edwards in the silver car is tucked up behind Gary Broad. He looks to the outside as they go towards Paddock Hill Bend. And Edwards, he brakes late, but Broad brakes later, so no way through as the rest of the pack streaming through an enormous field. There's Peter Driver heading up another ferocious battle. That's Tom Chatway in the white 52 car on the tail of Steve Williams, and Chatway looking to the inside of Williams into Druids. Neither driver short of aggression, but Chatway finding his way through as Williams gave him 3/4 of a car's width, and Chatway took advantage of the curbs to just about squeeze through. So Chatway now in pursuit of Peter Driver in the red 45 machine. On to Surtees they go, and it's Chatway pulling away from Steve Williams. Well, Williams last year went very well in the modified class. This year the drivers are all racing in standard Elises, and on the evidence we've seen thus far at Brands Hatch, it has served just to close the field up and produce some frenetic and very, very exciting racing. So Steve Williams tucking behind Tom Chatway, and just behind them and just out of shot is a recovering Simon Phillips in the white and green car. Williams taking the high and wide line, maybe looking for a switchback manoeuvre on Chatway. Driver has no issues making his way through Paddock Hill Bend, climbs towards Druids, but he leaves the door open, and Chatway looks to the inside, leading on Peter Driver, and Driver shut the door just in time. I'm not sure he really expected Chatway to come from so far back, but Chatway went for the lunge, but eventually got closed off. And here's the battle for third position once more, which has turned into a 6-car train. Then we've got a 4-car train battling further back. Peter Driver, momentary respite. He's got the enormous advantage of 2 cars' lengths as they go into McLaren. Simon Phillips now right on the tail of Steve Williams. Williams in the yellow machine with the Tiger livery. Well, he's been burning brightly this weekend as he sets off in pursuit of Tom Chatway. Simon Phillips just behind him, and then David Hay as well in the mix. And Hay running with a novice crossing the car. Less than 10 motor races for him already. He's right at the front of the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. Well, Marcus Jewell has found his way past Paul Harding finally, so Jewell up into third position and trying to pull away from Harding. Harding in turn has got another novice, Luigi Valentin Mazza, right on his tail. And then Mazza's got Bailey, Broad and Edwards as well for company. This is a classic Brands Hatch Indy Circuit slipstreamer, just as we saw in the glory days of Formula Ford, and this is very much the glory days of the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. Fantastic action. So Jewell, can he break Paul Harding's toe? Himself in pursuit of Speller and Donnelly, who are just going into Paddock Hill Bend in the distance. The leading duo able to open enormous advantage, and you get the feeling that Harding maybe didn't quite have the pace to match Jewell. Now Jewell is released. Already he's pulled 10 car lengths or so over the machine of Harding. Climbing up towards Druids once more as Harding defending from Mazza. Bailey, Broad and Edwards looking to the outside of Gary Broad, and Broad's car was wide because there's no way through for Edwards, so he takes to the outside of Druids, no way through. Now Luigi Valentin Mazza, a very experienced kart racer in Super 1 karting, moving to car racing for the 2010 season. An absolute novice in terms of car racing, but his racecraft from karting really coming to the fore. He's crawling all over the tail of Paul Harding as they exit Clark Curve once more and then accelerate onto the ramp straight. They hug the pit wall because they can get an extra couple of hundred revs there, and that will just enable them carry a bit more speed into the notorious Paddock Hill Bend. The road turning sharply to the right and falling steeply downhill. Very late on the brakes there from Paul Harding, just to make sure that Mazza doesn't get designs on that fourth position. At the moment, Harding perfectly safe. He's got about a length or so's advantage. Bailey, Broad and Edwards fanning out three abreast into Druids. Chataway, Williams and Phillips fanning out almost three abreast into Druids, and then that's Rob, Austin and David Hay. It's Peter Driver who's been the big loser. He must have made an error somewhere because he's been shuffled down, has now got Nigel Ayres right on his tail as they head towards Graham Hill Bend. And then just behind Ayres is BJ Chong, who in turn is under considerable pressure from the number 13 machine of Matt Bartlett. And that's a spin there. We'll just pick out who that is. It could well have been Gary Broad, looking at the colour of the car. So we've got one rotation at Surtees. Disaster. We'll pick out who that was in a moment. It does look like it was Broad. So driver inadvertently gaining a position. It's looking to battle ahead. Gary Broad's car is not there, as now Bartlett right on the tail of BJ Chong, looking to the outside of Chong. Chong hugging the inside line. He's done a lot of testing over winter, also taken a lot of race instruction. And Adam Busey in the battle as well. Busey in the Golf liveried 58 machine had a spin in qualifying on Saturday, but since then has been going steadily quicker during the weekend. Andy Dolan, Greg Noble are the next through. Wherever you look, there is Dyson going on. Driver runs a little bit wide. Is that going to give an opening to Nigel Ayres and the rest? Because the slightest error is going to let two or three of them through. Well, Chong looking to the inside of Ayres. Ayres covers that line with some aplomb as they head up towards clearways once more. So Nigel Ayres, well, he's driving with plenty of grace at the moment, doing an excellent job of attacking and defending, as Chong taking a wide line along Brown Straight. Is that going to allow Bartlett to draw alongside? Indeed it does. So Matt Bartlett draws alongside and passes BJ Chong. Adam Busey follows him through. So BJ Chong going from attacking Nigel Ayres one moment to losing out next. Oh dear, that looks like a nasty incident there for John Lemaster. Lemaster, who's spun into the Armco just on the exit of Clark Curve at the very start of the pit lane. Oh, doesn't look to have made too heavy a contact with the barrier, but it could be race over for Lemaster. And it gets worse for Chong because he's now been passed by Andy Dolan. Back to the Williams and Phillips battle as Steve Phillips picks his way through. And then the Bartlett train, Matt Bartlett looking to the inside of Nigel Ayres. Ayres in turn challenging Peter Driver, and Ayres, I think, maybe just getting the hurry up here and will try and force his way past Driver as quickly as possible because Matt Bartlett is resurgent. However, Adam Busey pushing Bartlett along. We've still got yellow flags because of the car of John Lemaster. As Dolan comes through, we're going to make it three abreast along the Brown Straight. It's Bartlett, Busey and Dolan, as Dolan in the white car with the Saltire on the roof. I don't think he's going to get any ground here, and nor will Busey. Busey being squeezed out by Bartlett, but keeps his foot in around the outside. That leaves the door wide open for Andy Dolan. Graham Hill, Speller and spin. Speller loses it and spins out of second position. Disaster for Mark Speller. That has the advantage Donnelly, although he holds on in that second place. We go back to the train, still being headed by Peter Driver. The Union Jack liveried 29 machine, and Peter Driver is, well, having to do just that to keep this train of cars at bay. As again, Busey looking to the inside of Bartlett, he spins it, Busey rotates, well, he does a 360 eventually, he did a 180, then snapped the other direction. No grip on grass in the Lotus Elise, so Busey spins to the rear of the field, and that is going to enable Sean Nash to go around the outside of Greg Noble. And Noble in turn looking to the inside of BJ Chong, as, yes, Sean Nash, the 31 car, the blue car with the white stripes, looking for the switchback on Greg Noble as they got towards Druids. Driver masterfully maintaining position. A squeal of tyres says that, yes, Sean Nash has gained the position. Once more into Graham Hill Bend, and Driver and Ayres with Matt Bartlett. And again, Bartlett looking to the inside. We've got a static yellow flag, and that could be for a recovering Busey, so no overtaking this time round into Surtees. The race clock inexorably ticking onwards. It's a 20-minute timed race, no set laps, so the drivers, as they come along the start-finish line, they will see the digital scoreboard, which is down to single digits, so they're running out of laps to make their way up through the field, something that's weighing very heavily on Andy Dolan's mind. He looks to the outside of Matt Bartlett into Paddock Hill Bend, runs out of road, almost runs out of grip, so he is going to have to hold on as Ayres looks to the inside, but Dolan's got the switchback on Bartlett. And I did Andy Dolan the disservice. He carried a lot of speed through the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, enabling him to get alongside Matt Bartlett as they went up towards Druids and gaining the position. BJ Chong and Greg Noble. Chong having a little bit of a slide, and Greg Noble putting him under pressure on the way into Graham Hill Bend. Well, now that Dolan's found his way past Bartlett, he is on the tail of Nigel Ayres as a spin a little bit further back down the order. That's Paul Baker in number 63, and Baker recovers and was lapped in the process by the race leader Martin Donnelly. Donnelly still streaking away at the head of the field, but it's this enormous dice in the midfield order that is holding our attention, as indeed is the battle between Williams, Chataway and Phillips. Rob Austin and David Hay, they're having a good tussle too, and then looking for somebody on their own. It's the yellow car just making his way through Druids there. So once more we look at Steve Williams, who's had a very busy weekend, as has Simon Phillips. Tom Chataway got better and better during the course of the 2009 season, and he's right back at the sharp end in the opening meeting of 2010. The Lotus on Track Elise Trophy is a series, not a championship, so each race the drivers are racing for overall honours rather than championship points, which means that the incentive is all on getting that win and all on getting as high a finishing position as possible. You don't get any safe driving for points in the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. It's all out attack from the moment the lights go out. Williams, however, carrying good speed through Paddock Hill Bend. That is just enabling him to build a slight advantage over Tom Chataway, largely because Chataway has got the green and white machine of Simon Phillips in his rear view mirror, and Phillips is not short of some assertiveness when he needs to be, so he closes up onto the tail of Chataway, but closes up too closely, snatches a break, a plume of tar smoke, and so that costs Phillips a little bit of ground as they accelerate on to Surtees once more. The left, then the right, pretty much flat out for the road, goes right forever into McLaren, Clearways and Clark Curve, and that brings them onto the Brabham Straight, where they're still turning right before they get fired uphill into the entry of Paddock Hill Bend. So Williams, a good lap from him. He builds the advantage over Tom Chataway, and Chataway in turn able to build that advantage over Simon Phillips. Williams using every inch of the track and a little bit more. The gravel track Paddock Hill Bend extended for the 2010 season, so whereas in previous years drivers could put all four wheels over the rumble strip, this year if they do that they are going to play in the sand, and it has already produced some very interesting manoeuvres at Brands Hatch throughout the course of this weekend as Bartlett gets squeezed wide in this midfield battle. Dolan finally making his way through past Matt Bartlett, so Andy Dolan, well, I think he was actually holding on from Bartlett. Bartlett looking to the outside at Druids. And really, in such evenly matched cars as we get on the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, there's going to be no way he can power on around the outside. Peter Driver maintaining that position and driving with some real expertise. And Nigel there is doing a great job as well, because he's got a seething horde of Elises behind him, but he's just focused on staying in Peter Driver's slipstream, keeping his driving nice and smooth. Although Dolan looking to the outside of Ayres this time round, and Dolan getting a good run out of Clark Curve. He goes around the outside of Nigel Ayres as they head towards Paddock Hill Bend, but Ayres holds the inside line tight, trying to squeeze Andy Dolan to the outside. PJ Chong and Sean Nash run side by side through Paddock as well. It's Nash who's got the honours, as they have now worked their way up onto the tail of the 47 car. That's David Hay. So David Hay has been caught by the Peter Driver train, so now it's Hay who takes prime defensive position. Dolan does make that manoeuvre stick. He is now third in the queue, as somebody looks like they're expiring in a very big way. Unfortunately, that could well be Eric Bailey. He pulls off. Great shame. It's the 32 machine. That is Eric Bailey. So Bailey, unfortunately, out of the race in a plume of oil smoke. Now David Hay has got Andy Dolan to contend with. He's been dispatched by Peter Driver. He is dispatched by Andy Dolan and Matt Bartlett as well. There is a gap on the inside. Bartlett tries to draw alongside. David Hay squeezing him against the pit wall, but Bartlett's got the advantage. Through he goes into Paddock Hill Bend. Nicely done. And Hay, taking the conventional racing line, almost gives half an opening to Nigel Ayres. Eventually he closes that off just in time. Now it's Driver and Dolan side by side through Druids. Driver on the inside, Dolan on the outside, and Dolan got two wheels on the curbs as he runs down towards Graham Hill Bend. Greg Noble on the tail of Nigel Ayres. There is Rob Austin, a little bit of a lonely race for him as Noble clatters across the grass in the background. Dolan makes the move on Driver in the foreground as Martin Donnelly romping away in the lead of the race. He has seen off the attack of Mark Speller. In fact, he passes the car of David Carr, who is in the Donnelly Track Academy machine. Donnelly preparing and instructing David's machine this weekend, so he doesn't have any trouble lapping David Carr. And Martin Donnelly, well, it's been a masterful performance. And Donnelly really a very, very fine racing talent, and it's great to see that he's back racing most weekends in the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, having been hugely successful in single-seaters during the 1980s, working his way all the way up to Formula 1 with a Lotus drive in 1990. So very fitting that Donnelly is back racing Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, and not just back racing, but back winning as well. And he spent all of Saturday night up preparing the cars before retiring to the Kensington and then getting up at the crack of dawn to watch the Australian Grand Prix. So Martin Donnelly feeling a little bit sleepy this morning, but he's certainly getting that out of his system well into the race. We just saw Mark Speller going through. There's Marcus Jewell in third position, so Jewell in turn has been able to break the toe of Paul Hardy. So at the front of the field, well, Speller lights the blaze. He's doing what he can to reel Donnelly back in, and Speller looks like he's real on a mission as the body language of that machine says attack, attack, attack. And for very good reason, because Donnelly is the race leader and Speller would dearly love to win it, but also Marcus Jewell is there in the trackclub.com machine ready to pounce. Also ready to pounce is Matt Bartlett, who is now taking his turn to try and vanquish Peter Driver as we go on to the final lap of the race. There is Harding and Luigi Valentine Mazza, and Mazza unable to find his way past Paul Harding as they go into Paddock Hill Bend, side by side between Chataway and Phillips as well. Donnelly through Druids for the final time, and yes, Speller is closing on him, but I don't think he's going to have enough time, barring some gross misfortune going the way of Martin Donnelly. So we looked at Graham Hill Bend. There is Donnelly. He has got just two corners between himself and the win in the first round of the 2010 Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. David Carr, Donnelly's teammate, another novice, so a newcomer to motorsport, and Carr acquitting himself very well this weekend in the meeting. So here comes Donnelly over the grid hatching, checker flag waits, and Donnelly takes an emphatic victory here at Brands Hatch and Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. Second goes the way of Mark Speller following a fine drive, and we look for Marcus Jewell, but meanwhile here's the battle between Pete Driver and the rest, and if Driver holds on, then he possibly deserves the biggest round of applause of all, because he has been under sustained pressure for the entirety of these 20 minutes. Greg Noble's found his way past Nigel Ayres, so here comes Driver. He's got Bartlett. Hay and Nash looking the outside of David Hay. It's a drag race to the line, and Peter Driver is going to hold on. So it's Driver from Bartlett, then Hay, Nash, Noble and Ayres, the rest of them streaming through, as taking the applause of the crowd is Martin Donnelly and Mark Speller. Marcus Jewell did indeed hold on to take that third position, and Donnelly, I think he must have thoroughly enjoyed himself there, as did Speller. A very, very fine opening to the season for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. So we get the classification. It is Donnelly who takes the victory from Speller, Jewell, and then Michael Edwards it was who worked up to fourth position, Paul Harding fifth, and Matza in sixth. Onto the podium, and a delighted top three drivers.
Martin, you're no stranger to first place. Again, you've started off the season as you enjoy.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's enjoyment. You know, I'm here thanks to Lotus on Track and to Paul Golding and everybody associated with that. You know, it's a good weekend. Mudman is affordable as well. It's good, affordable racing. And I want to thank the people from Gaz Shockers and to Derek who's this weekend. Gives a great setup and just makes it a lot more easier for me to drive. So, although it looks difficult, it's actually enjoyment as well. It's important.
You seem to have Mark on your tail for part of the race.
He was there for a while, wasn't he? He was sniffing, and we had to sort of be a little bit sort of extra defensive. I got a few love kisses in the back of the car, but eventually, I know Mark from home because I drove for him when he had the team 2 years ago, and he does now and again have a tendency to suffer from the red mist, don't you, Mark? But eventually, the horns came out, he came back on, and he was very, very quick towards the end, and I think, he got a new lap record, so I think that's for a pace today.
Well done on your first place, and we'll see you next round.
I also want to thank the boys at ETA, to Phil, Mick, and especially Dave. Thank you.
Mark, a fantastic race to hold out through second, even after your spin.
Yeah, it was good. Martin kept me trying all the way, and Better Man won. He drove very well. It's very difficult to pass here, and tried a bit too hard, hence the spin. But I was coming back. I think I did a good lap on the way back, so quite happy, really.
And did you get a new lap record while you were out there?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not sure what the time was yet. I've not seen the sheet, but I believe it was, so I'm quite happy with that.
And enjoyed it, even though, despite the spin, though.
I did. Yeah, it was first time out for that car, so thanks to Mark, the owner of the car, for that, and it's been fantastic. So yeah, good.
Marcus, a fantastic race, full of excitement, but nearly wasn't quite as good as it was.
No, I had a real problem off the line, and Paul's good at starting. He got away from me, and he sort of held me up for a few laps. By that time, Donnelly and Speller are gone. Once Martin's gone, you're not going to catch him. But it was good fun. It was good fun. At the end, Mick really caught me up quickly, and my car was playing up a bit in terms of the brakes had gone. So it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
And just finished in the nick of time.
Just finished in the nick of time. New car this year, so we're running a Toyota power car now, so more modern technology. But it has a 120 kilo weight penalty, so for the guys watching, it's quite hard to figure out why they don't quite get out some of the slow corners as well. But it's got ABS and some other advantages, but it's fun just to try something new in a different car. It's good fun.
An immense start of the season here at Brands Hatch for the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy, with really close and exciting racing. Join us later in the season for more action here at elisetrophy.tv.